But first, we're gonna look at my super awesome Halloween tank top. Now, if you know which movie this is from, specifically which one, tell me in the comments below. Welcome to my Unpopular Capcon 2020 Opinion. Shh, I really like the hotel space. I thought I would kind of freak out. I had so many reservations about Capcom 2020, about the new hotel. Like, yes, it has twice as many rooms because the other one really didn't have a ton of rooms. But I was worried about, like, oh no, there's no big atrium. There is no suites, with a separate living room and then bedroom area. And I was like, well, how am I going to know where everyone is without the big atrium where I can see where everybody is at all times? And I was freaking out about this. I looked at pictures of the new hotel on their company website, and I was just so freaked out because change is scary. So let's go through the pros of the new hotel space. All right. I don't know if you agree or not agree. Comment in the comments below. So, one of my number ones is the huge ballroom space. It could fit a ton of people. I was worried that the ballroom would feel enclosed, would have a low ceiling, but no, it had a very high ceiling. The space was gigantic, and at some times when there wasn't a huge event going on, like the opening or closing ceremonies or the pageant, they had it sectioned off in half. So one was a play space and the other one was a different type of space, like still the main stage space. So I like that the main ballroom was isolated, so therefore you could control the sound. And it was especially beneficial during the pageant, where in the past the pageant was on the main stage in the middle of the atrium, and all the balconies for all the other levels surrounded it. Now a ton of people would hang out on the balconies, watch over the balconies in front of their hotel rooms, but a lot of people would talk, and that would be so distracting from the actual talent that people are doing on the stage. And I thought, it was kind of disrespectful. When people are talking and there's so much noise that you really can't hear what that person is trying to do, what their special talent is. But while everyone is isolated in the ballroom, everyone was so respectful and so quiet, and all eyes were on the stage at what's going on. And I think that was just awesome because it showed everyone that was competing in the pageant that we're watching, and we're engaged. There was no other distractions like there were before, because a lot of people could be seated in the big ballroom area versus in the atrium area in the old hotel. There wasn't a ton of seating, so a lot of people would have to watch on the balconies. And because of that, a lot of people are talking, and because you're talking, then you have to talk louder, then you're asking your friends to get you a drink or a beer from the room, and it's just distracting and you can't hear the performance. So I love that. I love that all the spaces were close together, fairly close together. Like the track was right beside the ballroom, was right beside this huge play area with the ball pit, and the connect four. What do you call it when you like put one foot on a color and then you spin the thing, and then you put another, and you put your left hand on green or whatever. Anyways, and then there was a big seating area where people can just hang out, and then the buffet was right there. And then you can go down the escalators, and there was play spaces, there was classrooms, there was a lot more rooms, and you can easily access it without having to go out of your way to see what's in the middles room, what's in the video game room. You could walk by all that stuff on the way to the classrooms, which were right beside each other. There were two, and they were set up very, very well. I had to present 2 classes there, and it was very easy for me to set up, plug in my laptop, and go. There was an awesome changing area, which was more sponsored than it was before in the past, with a lot more diaper sponsors. So when I went down there, when I needed change, I didn't expect there to be any smalls at all, because in the past, when it was sponsored solely by Takeables, they really didn't have any smalls. So I was like, oh, I have to wear medium. But no, there was like, they asked me, which small do you want? And they had like 4 or 5 different ones. I'm like, what? There's a small? Thank you. So it was just, the changing area was bigger, it was improved, there were more diapers. You can easily see all the rooms and pass by them and just see who's in them, what's going on in them, you know, if anyone's in the crib or not. Can you jump in there? I actually like the buffet area at the new hotel way better than the last couple years. One year it was in the atrium, and there just wasn't a lot of seating, period. So it was tough. Then the next year, when the buffet was free to everyone, there was more seating, but I don't remember there being high chairs. But this year, at the buffet area, there was like 6 or 7 high chairs. So at any given time, there was at least a couple high chairs that weren't being used. What? I don't remember where the high chairs were the previous years. Like, where did they all come from? Maybe they were just in the nursery before and I didn't notice them, but they were definitely not in the breakfast area. But it made breakfast so much better because I got to feed someone in it, and it was so cute. He looked so cute in the high chair. Everybody was staring like, oh, who's diaper per feeding in the high chair? And getting jealous. So yeah, I liked that the hotel just had more space overall. There was space for round tables, and it was easy to find. There was more space for the bigs gathering. It was easy to find. So because of the availability for more space, then that led to more attendee-led events. Like, if you had an idea for something, pitch it, and there is space for it. They're going to find space for it. And I know next year there's going to be people with more ideas. I already have more ideas for next year. Hopefully there is a next year. One thing that I thought would be a huge con was not having the atrium, right? I'm used to seeing where everybody is at any time, any given time. But because this hotel was a traditional hotel with hallways, there was actually like 3 different halls on each level. And it was really cool because in the middle, like roundabout thing, each floor had like this little space. It was an actual little space with like blocks and toys and mats, like play mats that you can just hang out. You could just sit down and hang out. And sometimes I would do that. I would just be walking by and see someone I know and be like, hey, what's going on? And just sit and hang out. And the best thing is, you're not distracted by looking around constantly all the time to see where everybody else is. Period. You are isolated in your moment, and therefore you can have that energy to just be in the moment. And I didn't realize how valuable that is. Like, for example, last year I was doing a session, right? And I took the person outside and I was doing a little bit of, humiliation stuff. But while I was doing that, then all these people from across the atrium walking down the hallway on all the different levels would like yell across and like wave hi to me and stuff. And guess what? That's distracting. Yes, I know where you are now. Great. But I'm busy doing something. And instead of doing that all the time, having to wave all the time, I liked it. I like just being whoever I'm having a conversation with, I'm having a conversation with them. And I'm not looking around constantly. I'm not looking at who's going up and down the elevator, who I want to avoid, who I want to see. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, so and so is getting off on this floor. They're going here. Oh, I want to say hi to them. No, I'm just in the moment. Whatever moment I'm in, whether it's just going to my room or I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm there. I'm isolated. I'm engaged. My mind isn't racing all the time. And I think some of you might agree with that. That it's just nice not knowing. Like every time you come out of your room and you walk to the elevator, it's a surprise. I have no idea who's going to be there. I can't see who's on the elevator anymore. So when it opens up, it's like, surprise! Yay, people! Who are you? I don't know. Let's talk. And it's just fun. I was worried that I wouldn't like having a microwave in my room because I don't have a lot of time to eat at Capcom just because I'm so busy with stuff. Each floor had its own microwave and an ice machine thing in one room, and it really wasn't that bad because I got to go out of my room and see who's in the little play space in the middle and then go back to my room, and it was okay. It was still cool, whatever. I got to see more people and get out that way. I thought when it was time for me to have my diaper change happy hour, I was worried that I didn't have a living room area for people to wait for their diaper changes, because in the past people have waited in the living room, they've talked to each other, whatever, they've hung out. So I'm like, oh great, people are gonna like just stand in the hallway awkwardly. But it was actually not awkward at all because it allowed people to clearly see who's next in line, and people engaged. They were out there talking and joking and laughing with each other, and it was actually more advertisement for me because people would walk by and see the line and say, hey, what's going on in here? And sometimes they would talk to people they knew that was standing in the hallway, and it was just a bunch of people in the hallway hanging out. So I think it allows people who maybe want to go to diaper change happy hour a way to see like how many people are in line and if you know anyone there. And it's less awkward than being stuck in a room where you're sitting, or maybe you don't have a place to sit and you just have to awkwardly stand and talk. It was actually a better way for them to talk within the hallway, surprisingly. So yeah. And then the last one, oh no, it's not the last one, because it's a traditional hallway hotel, and then there's actually less noise in the hallways versus before, where people were having room parties all night and the sound would echo. It would echo up through the atrium, and you can kind of hear it even with the bedroom door closed. Whereas this one, I felt the hallways, well, I wasn't on the party floor. Yay. So my hallway was like fairly quiet, and I could actually get to sleep when I wanted to because it was chill. A lot of complaints were that the 2 elevators that were available were slow. Yes, they were slow, but guess what? Fucking cardio. Cardio, rule number 1 of Zombieland, right? Yeah, I didn't mind taking the stairs whenever there was a huge lineup at the elevators, which, for example, I had to run up 5 flights of stairs between judging the Halloween costume contest and trick-or-treating because I was going to be late. I need to get up to my room to set it up for trick-or-treating, so I had to didn't run up 5 flights of stairs. And they weren't even like one set of stairs. It was like I had to do 2 flights up this in the middle part of the hotel and then run to the end of the hallway and then go up the last 3 flights of stairs and then figure out which wing I was in, because it was like 3 different wings. I actually loved the new hotel despite all my fears. And yeah, I had a blast. Now we're gonna go through the cons. So we went from an all-suite hotel to regular rooms. Meh. You know, I mean, I didn't really miss it because I was too busy having fun and being busy. I didn't spend a lot of time in my room, so I didn't really care. And you can't really quickly see where all the room parties are without the atrium. It has its pros, it has its cons. It makes you explore more, and that isn't always a bad thing. So I hoped you like my little breakdown of why I really enjoyed the new hotel at Capcon. Bye.